Hey Milden, it's Tom. This is Wednesday of Holy Week, and we're continuing our day by day walk through that momentous week in our own Christian history. Jesus is doing a lot happens to Jesus, and we are observers in all of this. And there's so much going on that it's really helpful to take events day by day. Monday, we followed Jesus to the temple where he took the whip in hand and cleansed the temple. There's also the incident where he cursed the fig tree and talked about the power of prayer. Tuesday was a day of discourse. All kinds of conversations took place in the temple with many different people. Some of the conversations were very uplifting and constructive, others were disputes. Tensions are rising. And you can even tell in Jesus' own tone that there is a certain tension in the air. Wednesday is called by many Spy Wednesday. And here the story focuses on how the leadership, the chief priest, and those who were associated with him are concerned about this Jesus, how he's making quite a commotion. They're afraid it's going to attract Roman attention, and that's not a good thing. And they really feel that at this point, Jesus has to be eliminated. He has to die. That was the decision they made. And to aid them in that, in comes disciple Judas, who agrees for 30 pieces of silver to betray Jesus at an appropriate time. Oh, that's so depressing because in the end, that's what happens. He is arrested, he is tried, he is beaten, he carries his cross, he is crucified, he is laid in the tomb dead. It is a sad and brutal end to a brilliant and a beautiful life. Now, Wednesday, though, is not all depressing. Something else happened that day, too, which was a little more uplifting and a little more profound and a little more healing. Jesus is anointed by a woman. In Matthew and Mark, she has no name. In the Gospel of John, it's Mary, who is the sister of Lazarus. But this woman anoints Jesus, and the ointment itself is very expensive, and the disciples are really rankled by this because they said it could be sold for a lot of money and the money given to the poor. And one can imagine the disciples are pretty up on the poor thing because the day before in the discourses, Jesus had Matthew 25, which was about reaching out to those who are hungry and reaching out to those who are thirsty and reaching out to those who are naked and providing for needs. When you have done it to one of these, the least of my brothers and sisters, you have done it to me. So I think they're pretty sensitive about ministering to the poor. But typical to Jesus, he takes the conversation in a direction they did not expect. And he said, you know, friends, you're always going to have the poor. And you can choose to minister to them whenever you wish. But you will not always have me. And of course, he's looking ahead now to the events of Good Friday. You will not always have me. And what she has done is a beautiful thing. She has prepared my body for burial. And ages hence, she will be remembered for doing this. Wednesday, the betrayal. I raise a question for you as we go through Wednesday, and maybe this is something you mull in your mind as you go out through the day, and that is, why did Judas choose to betray Jesus? The gospel supplied the answer that the devil did it, but I want to challenge us to look deeply because the devil doesn't really compel us to do things. The devil tempts us. The devil tests us, but we're the ones who bite. So what was it that compelled Judas to do what he did? I ask us to think about that today. And also, think about what he said when he was anointed. The poor you will always have with you, and you can minister to them as you choose, but you will not always have me. She has prepared my body for burial. There's something beautiful about that. What is the beauty that you see? What is the specialness you see in this? What did the woman see in Jesus that perhaps might escape our own understanding? What did she see in Jesus that motivated her to do this very tender thing with such a costly ointment? Things to ponder on Wednesday of Holy Week. You'll have another video tomorrow on Thursday as we track now more into the events that are familiar to our sense of sequence. And we'll talk about, of course, the Seder, the Passover, the Garden of Gethsemane, and the arrest. Until tomorrow, take care and God bless.